Alright, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm retiring the 2018 2SS 1LE from street duty, and I'm putting Project F-Beater on the road as a daily. And let's get into that video, but first we're gonna have to make some space. So as you can see here, I reorganized my entire garage. This whole cabinetry and everything was over here on this wall behind me, and everything on this wall behind me has been reorganized, etc. And even on this side of the garage, you've got the 81Z28 hiding nicely, tucked away nicely. Everything's been organized. Man, what a lot of work that was, but that's what it took. So now I can get both good cars in here, and F-Beater can stay out in the driveway where she belongs. So let's get into that. All right, here's F-Beater. Been sitting for a while. Yeah, it's plated, meaning it's gonna hit the road. It's been here for a while, since the last video where I was working on the heater core and some cooling issues. So here she's been sitting, got a flat tire. Interesting. I'll have to fill that up. These were some cheapy tires I put on there because the original ones were corded, but it's got some winter tires on there. Some, what are they? Camaro Ice Pro GT radial. Who knows? They're chunky, they're meaty, they've got lots of tread on them, so they should work. But yeah, F-Beater's been sitting here for a while, so time to get this car on the road. It is plated, so that means it's destined to be the daily. So let's do that. First things I'm going to do is fill up that tire, and then we're going to check some of the fluids, see if they've leaked out or if everything looks okay that way. And then we're going to put it in the garage and look at things like the diff, check the diff fluid, because I've never done that, and just do a couple quick checks on some of the vitals, and then let's get it on the road. All right. You can see, oh, by the way, I was playing with some trem clad on the hood, just knocked down some of the high spots. That's going to come up later when I make this thing look a little bit better, but thought I had some trem clad in the garage. It's a bit more orange, but it doesn't look too bad. So color match looks okay. That means good enough for this car. And oh, where do we go? I just forgot how that works. There we go. The hood latch is all messed up. If you recall earlier video, this was all distorted. Someone put a strap around here and tried to drag the car, ripped this whole part out. So I just chucked some basic tech screws in there, beat this with a ball peen hammer, kind of formed it back to where it needs to go, and that's how the hood's going to stay latched. So here is the magnificent V6. For those of you that remember, it is a 3800 Series 2 car. Unfortunately not a V8 car, LT1 or LS1, but that is what it is. These are apparently some of the most reliable engines ever made in terms of a V6, and they've been around for a long time. People say that this engine will outlast the transmission it's bolted to or any chassis that it's been installed in. So again, no idea how many kilometers are on this car or how many miles are on this car, as the instrument cluster doesn't display that. The display is basically just bricked itself. So here we are, checking the engine oil real quick here. Does it still have oil in it? Oh yeah, oil looks really good. Doesn't look like it's got any water in it or anything. That looks nice. We'll go around here, check the coolant. You never know. Coolant is nice and green. Gotta like that. And checking trans, if I can do this. Oh yeah, nice and red. Doesn't smell bad or anything, so trans looks good as well. What we don't know is the diff. So let's get it into the garage here and check the diff. Get some air in this tire here. There we go. And there we go. Yeah, Camaro Ice Pro GT radio. Only the finest for this thing. All right, battery is in the car. Let's see how she starts. Starts good. Bing, bing, bing. can see over here, there's nothing on the display. It is completely bricked itself, and the RPM is way out of whack there. It's more like maybe 1500 or 2000. It says it's almost 4. That's completely messed up. That's not gonna get fixed. It is just a beater. Still makes that horrible noise under the hood there, and I'll show you what that is. So the horrible whirring noise you hear under the hood is obviously a bearing dead somewhere. I thought maybe power steering pump initially, but it doesn't seem to be the case. I thought it was AC compressor, and I kind of left it, but let's take a look at the AC compressor one more time just to kind of see what's going on there. All right, here we are looking down at the front of the engine here. AC compressor right below us here. The belt is off, and have a listen to this. Hopefully you can see this. That bearing in the AC compressor clutch is absolutely wasted. Like, there's no bearing in there at all. So that's the noise that this thing's making. But you know what? We're just gonna forget about that and drive it anyways. So I think I actually have a solution for that AC compressor clutch. And it's going to be fairly cheap, so you'll be interested to see that if you have a 3800 V6 F-body, Camaro, Firebird, whatever. It's going to be an interesting way of getting rid of that sound, so stay tuned to that. But anyways, let's put the belt back on and go underneath the back of the car, and let's check diff fluid. And that's pretty much all the vitals I'm going to check before we go on the road. Okay, under the car now, and you can see we just put a 3/8 drive breaker bar or whatever, and loosen this fill plug. Once the torque there is broken, then you can come in here with a extension on a ratchet and just wind it out. And what we're looking for is a little bit of fluid come out. And I got nothing coming out. Stick my finger in there, see if I can. So nothing coming out. Ooh. Yeah, there is fluid in there, so I should top that off. So I'll just take some 75/90 and we'll just fill up what's missing here. A little bit more in the diff, because it is a little low. And then when you pull that out, you see how she's leaking down the side now, so that means it's full. You just basically fill to the drain plug and let that drip a bit, because there might be a little bit in there and it'll level itself off. And then stick your plug back in and we should be good to go. Yeah, just look at how crusty this thing is underneath. Definitely, you know, been sitting without being used. All the suspension bits are crusty. This muffler right here, is probably not going to survive too long, but oh well. Okay, diff has got fluid in it now. We're good to go. And if you ever wanted to see what kind of gearing you have in your 4th gen F-body, 93 to 2002 Camaro, Trans Am, Firebird, whatever, I'll show you where to find that information. So a lot of the cars, the earlier cars, will have that on the glove box if you open the glove box, but on the 97 Camaro I have here, I'll show you where it's located. And that information is located right here on the door. So you'll see there, right by my finger, it says GU4. GU4 means it's got a 308 rear axle ratio. GU2 would be a 273, so I'm glad I don't have that, because this thing needs all the help it can get with only 200 horsepower. GU5 would be a 323, which would typically be your automatic Trans Am or LT1 Camaro. And then GU6 is your 342, which is probably most of your 6-speed cars out there. With the exception of 93, they had a bit of different gearing in the Trans and different gearing in the rear end of the car. But anyways, this is where you find your information. The one under the glove box or on the glove box door inside should look exactly the same. This is basically all your service parts, and there's your diff. I think G80 or whatever would be posi. This does not have a G80. This does not have a posi. I know that for a fact. Now that you know your diff ratios, let's get this thing on the road and see how it drives. Is it going to be good? Is it going to be bad? We'll find out. All right, we're on the road now. Let's see how she drives. So far, kind of seems all right. Steering is decent. Trans shifted good. We're third gear, fourth gear. Oh man. Oh, what the heck was that? Something really making a lot of noise in the front end. Let's go down this little road here. Turning in, like rubbing a bit on the front there. I'm gonna go down this street here. Something was really making a lot of noise in the front end. Let's see, there's a big bump here. Oh man, that's bad actually. Oh well. You know, nothing we can't fix. Front end is really floaty in this thing though. Coming to a dead end, we're gonna spin it around. Steering seems to be good. Reverse, no problem. Backing it up. I'm gonna try the brakes here on this little side street before we get carried away. A little bit of throttle, that's decent. And on the brakes, yeah, brakes, good. Fairly straight line. Let's try that one more time. And brakes, yeah, not bad. Okay, we can go with that. Let's do a little bit more driving here and see what else we come across, so to speak. Go down this little road here. Gonna get on the accelerator here. Oh yeah, a little bit of scratch there in first gear. All right. I mean, okay, snow tires are ancient. Those Shapiro Ice Pros, they're hard as a rock, honestly. I just put them on there to get, you know, some sort of tire on there that wasn't showing cord and that wasn't completely cracked. So I don't think this would do that, you know, with a real, you know, tire that had some grip in it. It's like a newer tire, but it is what it is. Yeah, we'll just stop here at the stop sign and then we'll proceed through. We're gonna get on the gas here real heavy, see what first to second is like. All the way to the floor. Nice shift, first to second, shifts really good. Thing is super rolly, like there is gotta be no front struts in this thing just because of the way it hammers over the bumps. And yeah, most of these cars I would think would handle a little better than this, although I've never had a V6 car, so I don't know how much lighter duty the springs and the suspension sway bars are, but from what I can see, I think they have the same coil rate, front spring rate, so probably a lot smaller sway bar though. But so far it seems to drive okay. Overdrive, we're not going fast enough. We're gonna see if it gets into overdrive. But yeah, trans is shifting pretty good. Accelerates pretty good. Brakes pretty good. So far not bad for, you know, a case of beer car, and I've got probably about $1,000 in parts in this car all around. You know, it's including all the ignition stuff, all the cooling stuff. That's including fixing the engine, the lower intake manifold leak, which was really bad, the upper plenum, all that kind of stuff. So basically, you know, you're into the car for about $1,000, which is, you know, you can't get a running and driving car for much less than that these days. So I'm pretty happy with that so far. All right, so we're just gonna stop here, come to a complete stop here. I wonder what it'll do if I just punch it from a dead stop. And go. Oh yeah, baby, she spins them. Second gear, that's actually, you know what? I think second gear is there's almost a shift kit in this thing. I don't remember a 4L60 shifting this well, even in the V8 cars, to be honest. Oh man, big bump there, scraping the front air dam. There's no front struts in this car at all. They are totally hammered. Again, we'll do a little slalom test here. Jeez.
Yeah, okay. Zero suspension. I mean, I wasn't even going that fast. Zero front suspension in this thing. We'll fix that later, perhaps. So we'll just keep driving for a little bit. We'll jump on the throttle here, see how she downshifts, I should say. Decent, and then on the brakes real hard again one more time. Yeah, not bad at all. Brakes, they work really good actually. It's got drums in the rear, of course, discs in the front. Previous owners years ago did some brake work on it, and all I did was really have to bleed it, scuff up the rotors a little bit, and everything is good. So, all right, just cruising along at a little bit higher speed here, and we're in overdrive. Overdrive works, and if I put it back into D, there you go, it's out of overdrive, and then back down in overdrive. So I wish I knew from the TAC the RPM I was doing right now. It still says, like 4,500, 5,000 RPM, so you know, TAC is wasted, but looks like with the 308 gears and the automatic with the overdrive, I would expect this thing to be pretty decent on fuel, which is another reason why I want to get it as a daily driver. You know, the 1LE is probably on ethanol choking back probably 13 liters per 100, or do the math, I don't know down in miles per gallon, but probably somewhere around 20 miles per gallon on my commute. This one should be quite a bit better. This one I'm hoping to get somewhere around 24, 25 miles per gallon. At least that's what they're rated for. So far, you know, I gotta say, other than the noise, which is, I mean, it's really bad in the front, the bearing that is really bad on that AC compressor, the car really drives good. It actually drives really good. So this will be the winter beater, the winter daily for me. But there's one more thing I gotta check out first before I can say 100% that this is a car I want to drive. All right, will this thing do a burnout? We're in first gear and second gear. Yeah, second gear, baby. Yeah, that's both tires there. I don't know what's going on, but old F-beater getting rowdy. Anyways, does a burnout, so it's gonna be the new daily. All right, well, so there you have it. She does a burnout. First one that was in car was one tire for sure, because it went up through at least 2 gears and stayed there. Second one from the outside was, there's both tires spinning, which is interesting. Definitely didn't have the power to carry that very far. But anyways, that's the end of this video. Hope you enjoyed it. This is definitely gonna be my daily now. It's a pretty fun little car. I imagine in the winter it'll be fun to kind of hoon it around and play around. And so thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. And if you like the content, please subscribe. There's more content on this thing. I got a few things left to do. Interesting stuff for the AC compressor issue. I'm gonna delete that, so look forward for a video for that. And plus I'm gonna try to make this thing look a little bit better. And more videos to come, so if you like the content, please comment, like, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.